This is a type of video I've never made before. I'm making this purely out of spite. I'm just a vengeful spirit right now. I had to suffer, and I feel it's only fair you suffer too. On Twitter today, a few people tagged me in 2 TikToks that were just so insultingly offensive to my eyes. I was more disturbed than a Christian youth pastor going to see the director's cut of The Human Centipede. It was so yucky that I just feel obligated to inflict this pain upon you, the viewer, and I'd like to talk about them a bit further. It's from a trend on TikTok where weird dudes try and be sexual and do, like, sexual shit, but it's super fucking creepy. Yeah, I mean, you know, who doesn't love a video like this? Just massaging spit into a blanket that you're pretending is a clitoris. Like, who is this for? I can't imagine there's a single sentient human being out there that's, like, excited about this or being turned on like, fuck, I'm wet now. Or, like, being cheered on in the locker room. Yeah! Oh, baby, yeah! Keep fucking rubbing her clit. Yeah, look at him go. Yes! It's vomit-inducing, especially considering that the majority of the TikTok user base is children. And then he finishes the video by, like, grabbing and squeezing what he's simulating is supposed to be a vagina. So he's basically just fucking, like, grabbing on it like he's trying to start a lawnmower. He's fucking trying to pop a balloon in his hand. Like, it's so disturbing, like, the whole thing. And he's not the only one. There was quite a few videos I saw just like this. I don't really get it. Maybe I'm just getting older. But how would any woman see this and be like, damn, I gotta hit this guy up. He look at the way he's massaging his spit into that blanket. That could be my pussy right now. Oh my god. He could be massaging my pisser, and it'd feel this amazing like what I'm watching in this TikTok video. This guy's truly an expert. A sexual wizard. A pleasure wizard. From what I can tell, this trend is supposed to prove that you have sex. Like, hey, no, look, I fuck, and I'm good at it. And then they have, like, whatever song's playing here, Arctic Monkeys or whatever is going on, I don't know the song. It just doesn't make any sense. You know, like, if I was to participate in this trend, I'd want to go, like, full-blown Alpha Chad Thundercock status. Like, I not only know how to massage one pussy, but 50. So I'd have, like, some inspirational music playing. You know, like maybe Scatman or something, and I'm just going all over the place. Fucking southpaw on him, maybe get like the Zoidberg going. Just simulating rubbing over 1,000 clits around me. And then maybe I'd be considered the most sexual man on TikTok. Which when said out loud sounds like a crime, actually. The thing is, this whole trend is so disturbing as a viewer. Like, how is this content that anyone would leave a like on? But what's crazier is I saw so many people trying to duet with this video in particular, so there were so many people moved by it and turned on by it that they wanted to respond to it and, like, fainting. Oh, it's wild. TikTok is truly an absolutely baffling cesspool sometimes. Why? Just why? My fucking day is ruined now. Dude hits a swan dive into a cunnilingus true combo. That's like a Tony Hawk Pro Skater line right there. I mean, good for him. You know, connecting all of those tricks together. And he sticks his tongue out and his tongue is like 20 feet long. Which I think is supposed to be like a turn on for the women that were watching. But I just feel like it'd be more of a detriment than anything. Because if this man goes to eat some vagina, he's also going to be eating butthole by accident. Like, his tongue is going to wrap around her like a G-string. It's going to be like tentacle porn, but with a tongue. So I don't think it's, like, necessarily the best thing in the world to have a tongue this long. Especially not for him in particular, because when you're going to administer the doctor-recommended dose of vaginal eating, You'll just get a taste of ass too. It's like, oh god, babe, why does your pussy taste like shit? It's like, well, you know why. Your tongue is fucking deep in my colon right now. How do you not realize that? But I don't even understand, like, this doesn't even show that you're good at sex, which I think the whole trend is supposed to. Because who the fuck is like, hey babe, you ready to bang? You ready to make a bedroom ham sandwich? Alright, here I come. And you do like a cannonball onto the bed, and then you just start like... But yeah, I just wanted to show these two videos from the trend here because I had to watch them, so I thought it was only right that you also had to experience this with me. So yeah, that's really about it. So yeah, I want to quickly address something that I've been ignoring the last few days. The reason I've been wearing so many black t-shirts is because my white t-shirts were being washed and I forgot that they were still in the hamper in the laundry room, so I've just been grabbing black t-shirts after my showers. That's it. There's no like deeper meaning to it. Now anyway, I want to share with you a video that is probably one of the most embarrassing things I've seen someone post on their own accord. This is a video that you couldn't torture me enough to release. Like, this is something that I would try to bury. I would spend every dollar I've ever earned in order to erase this video from the fucking internet because it is so unbelievably cringe. This is something that I would take to my grave, and even after I'm dead, would still have blushing cheeks and feel shame for having ever filmed. And this is something that they freely posted on their own. It's a group of kids that are harassing McDonald's employees.
Walk into the back of McDonald's again!
Yeah, I wasn't exaggerating. These are actual milk-drinking, diaper-shitting children. But that doesn't excuse the behavior, and it's mainly the reason I want to talk about this, because they get away with doing all kinds of degenerate shit because they know the authorities can't fully punish them, so they always just get slaps on the wrist, if that. Which just allows these clout-hungry little goblins to continue doing this degenerate shit for views on TikTok, and then they grow up into just fucking losers. I understand you can't just throw these 13-year-olds in jail for any of this, but there has to be some kind of punishment to fit the crime. Like, okay, you kids went on video to harass these McDonald's workers, so we're going to your house and we're taking away your Xbox, and we're repossessing all of your Fortnite V-Bucks and deleting your account. There's just gotta be something, because clearly they're not getting discipline from their parents at home, probably just being sat down in front of an iPad having their fucking brains rot, so they think this is a good idea, and that the only thing that matters in the world is internet views, so they keep coming up with dumb shit like this, harassing McDonald's workers, and that's just the gateway drug. In 5 years, next they'll be doing like the fucking Kia challenge where they're stealing cars, and then next it's charging people in a Walmart parking lot with a knife, and then they get themselves shot.
As you can see, I'm walking, yeah? I'm walking. Let's go, let's check the inspection. Inspection. Alright, let's check the inspection. I'm walking, let's check the inspection. Thank you very much. Inspection.
It's a sensory overload because the kid who filmed it is also doing voiceover after the fact, so it's overlapping. It sounds like you're caught in like a Dormammu time loop. It's just constant words and nonsense. It sounds like when you're playing Chivalry 2 and people are just spamming voice lines all over the place. It sounds like when the fucking nematodes show up to the Krusty Krab. It is miserable to listen to. Also, I have no idea why they were making all of those clicking noises when they entered the McDonald's. I'm guessing that's just them trying to be quirky with their signature style. But really the background noise that should have been playing whenever they roll up on something should be circus music, because they're a bunch of clowns. Now I know all of this sounds mean because they're actual kids, so I'm picking on children, but god damn it, the authorities aren't doing anything about it, so I might as well step in and try and, like, you know, deliver some hard truths that what they're doing is fucking cringe and embarrassing and they should feel shame for it. Like, this is awful. It's fucking stupid. They should be insulted for it. Like, especially now, so that way they'll stop doing it.
Inspection. Crazy. I have to check the inspection, I have to check the fries and everything. So man has to check everything just in case. And me and my bro, we got locked in there, bro. Look, me and my brother. They locked us in it. They locked us in it.
It just doesn't stop. So they're in the back of the kitchen, they're like walking around, like touching some of this shit, bothering all of the workers, just being an actual headache. Just a blemish on society here. Just for nothing other than TikTok views. It's so fucking juvenile. And yes, I know they're kids, goddammit, I get it. But this is fucking trash. This shouldn't be encouraged. Hats off to the McDonald's workers for taking swift action here. They immediately call the police and then close the door so that way they're trapped in that one location till the police get there. And also, I'm gonna give a little free advice to the kid that filmed this. Give up. Making videos is just not for you. Like, the whole idea behind this with walking to the back of the kitchen is garbage in the first place, but also you clearly have no fucking clue what you're doing. You're doing voiceover while all of the other words are being spoken, so it's just pure commotion and pandemonium. No one can make out anything that's going on here. It sounds like we're listening to Charlie Brown's parents. It's fucking awful. Just stop. Just try and commit to something else that's not fucking pranks or whatever this was supposed to be.
My legs were sinking. My heart was bum 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 bum. I was scared. Like Ronaldo. Call the police. Call the police. Sexual harassment. Sexual harassment. I'm recording this. I'm recording this.
It literally sounds like they're accidentally emoting. But anyway, you can see that these little scumbags aren't just here doing an innocent prank. Now they're saying that if the police get there, they're going to say that they were sexually harassed by the workers. That's a serious thing to do. I mean, that's a fucking crime to falsely report something like that. That's just downright evil. That's just straight up fucking evil.
Man, then we're outside in the fucking district every fucking time, bro. What? Bro, what are you gonna do, bro? Come, badness, bro. Record me. What did me? I was like, hey, girl, record me. You might as well get my number before I'm famous. You just walked in. You guys do that, man.
Honestly, this whole video kind of sums up the human brain on TikTok really well. It is actual constant fucking noise. Just gibberish. Literal random fucking noises at all seconds because they didn't want a single millisecond to go by without some kind of fucking noise because there needs to be perpetual jingling keys on that platform, which is why there's always like Subway Surfers underneath every video. It's kind of frightening. I really do wonder what TikTok has done to the human brain and if we're going to see any kind of wild effects from that in like 10 years. If people are just going to be completely unable to focus on one thing, they're going to need like multiple things in order to keep their attention.
It's not right. Let me get told. Let me get told.
No. Why you coming?
Boss, can I
Why
go
you coming inside?
Are you coming? No, because someone. Boss, can I come out? Can I come out?
It just doesn't fucking stop. It sounds like listening to a team of Pikmin trying to lift something heavy. Now, I know that I kind of insinuated that I view a lot of these things like a failure of parenting, and that's not always the case, and I recognize that. It's kind of wrong of me to assume that kids like this are the product of bad or neglectful parents. Sometimes there are just people that are too far gone, like kids that get too deep into this obsession with internet brownie points, the updates, the likes on TikTok, and no amount of good parenting can kind of curb that. It's just a lesson that the kids have to learn themselves when they realize that all of that effort was wasted and that they've just turned into a fucking loser from chasing it.
Tell him again, bro. What? I ain't scared. You ain't scared. Pussy yours, bro. Come fight me. Come fight me, bro.
I don't know.
Open the door. Oh, so you gonna let us go or you just gonna stay here? Because I'm gonna tell the police that you strangled me because you strangled my neck. I have video footage of you strangling my neck.
It's the teenagers.
Yeah, you never strangled my neck. But I just said like you strangled my
16.
neck so you could like get me out.
Another one of those false claims that could ruin a person's life if they tried that. So now, not only were they going to accuse them of sexual harassment, but also accuse this guy of strangling the kid's neck. And he even admits, like, yeah, that guy never did that, I was just going to say that. Which is fucking crazy. That's nuts. That is just evil. Like, full stop. That is just evil shit.
My neck started to do the stanky last night. Stanky last night, and I'll break your leg. Break him. Are you man? That was a mother. We got freed. Bow. The feds came. Bow.
Yeah, so you just get to walk out after the police get there. I really do think all of the workers handled this pretty well. They immediately called the authorities, kept them there till they got there. It's just a shame that all of that effort was moot, and the kids will likely just come back and do this again for more internet views since this kind of went viral for them. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about this because there's been like a real rise in kids doing stupid shit in public for the sake of internet views and at the expense of just normal workers. It's really frustrating shit, and it doesn't seem like it's going to stop anytime soon since the kids aren't getting punished for it, so why would they stop? They don't care about like the negative reception they get online. All they care about is the big number they see next to their views. Nowadays, it feels like kids are almost incentivized to be the biggest douchebag possible as early as possible, so that way they can start farming views, because outrage is the quickest way to like relevancy on TikTok and that TikTok fame that they even mention in this video. Like, they are clearly aware that by being an asshole in public, they're going to get some attention from it. So it's almost like incentivized, and there's just got to be some way to curb that. But yeah, anyway, just wanted to kind of talk about this a little bit. That's about it. See ya. Yeah, it's only been a couple days since I talked about the NPC TikTok live streaming trend, and it is completely out of control now. It's spreading faster than the bubonic plague, and it's significantly worse for your health. It is tragic that this is the state of entertainment now. I don't blame any of the streamers hopping on this trend, because it's an infinite money cheat code right now. This is a non-stop avalanche that's only gathering more and more steam, but instead of it being an avalanche with snow, it's an avalanche with doubloons. This is legitimately free money, because people, for some reason, are just throwing all of their allowance, all the schmeckles from their pockets, at every single TikTok streamer that's doing this NPC trend. I'm confident all of you have heard and seen this trend by now, but just in case, I'll introduce you to the patient zero that started this NPC streaming outbreak.
Grab, fire, fire, meow, hee-haw, yes, you got me feeling like a cowgirl, let me write it, huh? Aw, thank you, Fruity, I love you. Balloon. That was good. Coconut. Hee-haw, yes, you got me feeling like a cowgirl, let me grab.
This is Pinky Doll, and with the rate at which she's growing from this trend, she'll end up being more well-known than the Bible at this point. She has exploded from this. 50,000 viewers during her most recent NPC stream, and apparently, according to reports, eyewitness accounts, she went for 5 hours of doing that nonstop. Can never fault the work ethic there. That is some fucking iron will. That is a certified top 10 anime never give up moment right there. 5 hours of just repeating the same emotes forever. Literally just spamming taunts in a fighting game for 5 hours like this. That's not easy. That's beyond mind-rotting. But that's where the money's at right now. She has blasted a new market wide open here with weirdos that want to watch NPC streams forever. So it's really smart from her to capitalize off this, especially considering I imagine it won't last for too much longer. This is absolutely one of those lightning in a bottle situations. I would be shocked. And I've been wrong before. It's rare, but I have been wrong. Like the time I thought I got bit by a bat watching Jurassic World in theaters, and it turned out I had just fallen asleep and had a nightmare. Point is, I have been wrong. And I don't think I'm wrong here. I believe this trend will probably fizzle out and die like a sad little wet fart within about another week or two. 2 at most. I just really don't envision a world where kids will continue to keep coming back to these, because it's the same thing every single time. Though, I'm gonna go ahead and argue with myself here. On the flip side of that coin, kids do just endlessly loop Finger Family videos and Elsa making out with Spider-Man shit and you know, Crazy Shark or whatever his name is. Left Shark, I think is what it is. Baby Shark. Christ. Like, they do subject themselves to the exact same things on repeat forever, so maybe this will have legs for quite some time. I'm not really sure, but regardless, it's smart from Pinky Doll to keep striking while the iron is hot, because she is making a fat stack of cash from all of this here. And again, she's not alone. This has become the biggest trend right now. Either people hopping on ironically and then still doing it for like hours and then doing it multiple streams, or just people fully shamelessly copying and doing exactly what she does. If you go on TikTok and just scroll through live streams, pretty much all of them are this. There's been a bunch of videos posted of it, so I'll just show you clips from a couple of them that keep floating around, and people that just scroll through TikTok lives, and it's literally every single one of them doing NPC streams.
Guys, thank you all for the likes. I appreciate it. The roses. 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 Roses.
The clip goes on for a lot longer, but I want to quickly interrupt before getting back to it. That roses to roses true combo there was actually fucking wild. That wasn't planned or anything from the person who posted this, I don't think, because they were just scrolling, I believe. So that just happened naturally. Like, that's how formulaic the NPC streams are. They're pretty much the same thing, just repeated forever. And they all generate a lot of attention from the audience, like thousands upon thousands of viewers for pretty much every creator that's hopping on board, as well as a ton of money because, again, the trend is NPCs acting out their emojis that people are donating. So they're getting donated roses, so it's smelling the roses. Roses! 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 Oh, roses! 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 Like, across the board forever. It's always the exact same shit for everyone doing it, and it's highly successful for them. And the audiences, for some reason, find it very entertaining and satisfying, which is concerning. It's the perfect illustration of just how bad for the human attention span TikTok is. Like, this is some fucking embarrassing shit for the future generations here. Because this content, the NPC streams, is basically just resetting the human brain to default factory settings. It's making you devolve to baby brain. Watching this is like watching parents play peekaboo with their baby. Peekaboo? Peekaboo? And then the audience is like, every time. Every single time, even though it doesn't change. It's fucking wild.
Hello, I'm AI.
Rebooting. System rebooting. Thank you for your...
GG. Thank you for the share.
Live.
Queen Slane. Hi, Zaza.
A couple of those were scrolled to a little too quickly to really recognize that they were NPC streams, but they were. Like, if you slow it down, like one of them that went by really quick, they did have the hair iron out with the kernel in it, popping individual popcorn, just like Pinky Doll does in the NPC streams. Everyone on TikTok is trying to get in on this infinite money glitch. And the content itself is legitimately just perpetual stimulation, jingling keys, making as much noise as possible, as often as possible. And it's working. You can see how effective it is, which is so fucking sad. Again, not for the people doing it here, because it's a free bag, and basically they just have to be the little clown honking their nose in order to make the children laugh by saying the same shit every single time for emojis that come through in the donations. I don't really get it. I'm not a fucking psychologist here, but if I was to spitball a guess, maybe this is like an audience of people that didn't get a lot of attention growing up, like their parents didn't play peekaboo with them, or Here Comes the Airplane with their vegetables, and seeing someone do something similar is kind of filling that missing piece in their soul, and that's why they keep coming back every single NPC stream and watching and donating to all of them. That would be my guess, but again, I can't really sit here and psychoanalyze every single spectator of this new sport and try and understand the inner machinations of their complex noodles out there. It's a little beyond my pay grade. I don't fully understand it, but I respect the people that are on the grind making a ton of money off of a wacky trend like this. I've also heard a lot of other people refer to this as an NPC fetish, which again could be true, maybe, I suppose. That there's maybe some merit to that claim, but I'm also not a fetish scientist, so I'm pretty in the dark on that one too. But regardless, one thing that's inarguable, it's extremely successful, and it's not showing any signs of slowing down. In fact, it's only growing in popularity. But again, I do think that its days are numbered. I don't think it's going to last that much longer, so anyone that's on the NPC trend, you gotta stick this shit out for as long as possible. Fucking grip it as hard as you can in order to just continue to squeeze it for a little extra juice. Also, I mentioned that it's not easy to do this because it's not. Like, it's super simple, but it's not easy. It's many hours of just repeating yourself forever. But what I am surprised I haven't seen more of, and maybe it's just because I don't watch the NPC streams, I only see what gets posted online for the frequency of it. What I'm surprised that more people aren't doing is just recording maybe like 15 minutes of you going through all of these emotes like, thank you, fire, fire, gang gang, gang gang, gang gang, all of that. Do that for maybe 10 minutes, and then just loop the video on a TikTok live stream. TikTok live streams are filled with fucking scams already. It's a fucking cesspool of scams. And one of the scams that people do is fake live streams where they just loop a video like that. I'm surprised people haven't been doing that for this trend, especially considering how easy it would be to do that. Like, I don't think anyone's going to be sitting there and recognizing like, oh, they didn't react to the roses. Oh my god, they didn't react to the dumbbell. Wait a minute, this is fake. And even if they did, what are they going to do about it? TikTok doesn't shut that shit down. They haven't shut down any of the scam streams, so I'm just surprised that that hasn't become more prevalent with this trend, but maybe it's just because I haven't been paying that much attention to the actual streams. Maybe this is super common and most people are faking it. That's very possible, I'm not sure. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about this a little bit because it is completely fucking out of control with how big this has become. That's about it. See ya. Another day, another awful TikTok challenge. The one we're talking about today is Devious Licks. And I actually think this is worse than the Tide Pod challenge, if you guys remember that, where kids were just eating Tide Pods and killing themselves or burning their stomachs. I actually think Devious Licks is worse than that, because at least Tide Pods, they're only hurting themselves. Devious Licks is just a massive inconvenience to everyone around them. So what is Devious Licks? It fucking sounds like a Harry Potter book, like Harry Potter and the Devious Licks. It sounds like a Death Grips album title. It's a really stupid name, but basically, it's a TikTok trend where kids in high school were going into their bathrooms and just stealing shit. So stealing soap dispensers, stealing entire sinks, stealing urinals, stealing the actual shitters themselves. There were actual kids just unscrewing the shitter, used, poopied, pee-peed in toilet, stealing that and taking it with them to their house. I can only imagine the immeasurable disappointment the parents must feel when they find that hidden treasure their kid brought home, because it's gonna smell like asshole. It's a fucking toilet. So they walk in there and they see that their kid's not only a thief, but the dumbest thief on earth. They stole a useless biological hazard. You can't even sell the toilet. Like, there's nothing you can do with it except just throw it away. Now, Devious Licks wasn't limited to just stealing. No. It was much more elaborate than that, because if you couldn't steal something from your bathroom, you just destroy everything. You go full caveman brain and just break everything and call it a Devious Lick. So that's basically the trend. And as it continued to grow, it transcended the quarantine zone of the high school bathroom. It went from the bathroom to just the school in general, so they started stealing things like sinks outside of the bathroom, they'd steal lockers, they'd steal cars. It basically was just vandalism at the school property. And this shit's been fucking wild. The only thing I've ever stolen from school is this little bad boy right here. And I had to go out of my way to find him, but I remember stealing this. It's a little snowman Pez dispenser. He's pretty playful, he's pretty cool. Not really a devious lick, but I felt bad about it ever since. I stole that from a teacher's desk, I remember, because I thought it was just kind of cool because there was Pez in it, and it was like, yeah, that's kind of nice. So I took it, and God, the guilt has been overwhelming ever since. I pray to God every night that he forgives me for the sin. Can only imagine what these heathens are going through. But anyway, this has become such a widespread thing that entire towns are going in lockdown at their schools, fucking sounding the emergency sirens like aliens have arrived. It's DEFCON red alert out here. Devious Licks is the boogeyman that's marched into town. So the way some of the schools are dealing with this is absolutely amazing. I read about a couple schools that just outright banned using the bathroom during school hours without an approved time for it. So they had to take a field trip to the bathroom, and if you have to go before that field trip time, you're just gonna shit and piss in your britches. Like, those trousers are gonna get soiled because they don't want to take the chance, because it got so bad at those schools that they just outright forbid using the bathroom outside of their designated field trip bathroom time. And then the more common one that I'm seeing is you are not allowed to use the bathroom without a school-approved chaperone to be there to make sure that you're not doing anything devious in there. These are high schoolers, mind you, and their brains have been rotted so drastically by TikTok that they're now not allowed to use the bathroom without a fucking bodyguard to monitor them, because they can't be trusted to behave themselves while tinkling. It's crazy. Now, I wanted to show you a few devious licks that I found on TikTok, but I didn't record them in time. TikTok has banned all devious licks and the accounts associated with most of them, so all of those are now just lost to the fucking cyberspace, the cyber shadow realm. So I'm just going to show you a short compilation from Know Your Meme that did like a few of the bigger ones that were viral on TikTok, so that way you can at least get an idea of what these looked like.
This licks refers to a trend where TikTokers steal school equipment and flaunt it like trophies for all of TikTok to see, with everything from soap dispensers to security cameras on the line. The trend began on September 6th when a TikToker posted a video pulling a hand sanitizer dispenser from a backpack alongside the text, "Only a month into school," and got this absolute devious lick, as if celebrating school's return with the steal. The video got high school and college kids around TikTok excited, and within days, users were going viral left and right, showing off their devious licks, aka stolen goods. Some examples include a full microscope, a computer, a functioning paper towel dispenser, and an entire fire alarm ripped right from the wall. Some have taken the trend outside school walls.
As the guy mentioned, it did go beyond schools. Kids started stealing shit from all over the place and just calling it a devious lick, like movie theaters, churches, and things like that. So it wasn't just limited to schools, but that was absolutely the bulk of it. And it's been in the headlines for the last couple of days because it has been a huge deal for a lot of schools. It causes a lot in damage, and it's a massive inconvenience to the entire class because you're missing fucking entire toilets, A, and B, your school now has to have designated pee-pee times. So you better hope that your bathroom schedule lines up with the school's now. So obviously these kids were pretty proud of the things they stole, so they weren't shy of showing their names and faces with a lot of the shit, which has of course led to a lot of kids getting expelled for it. Imagine getting expelled because you were competing in a TikTok challenge to steal your school's paper towels. Like, how pathetic. Now, the thing is, you don't make any money off this, so these kids were doing it just for this idea, this wet dream of clout. On TikTok, these accounts weren't making anything. You have to like sign up for a TikTok partner program, and even then I think it's like $1 per 10 million views, which these were not getting, by the way, except for a couple. So it's not like they were really making money from doing this. They got expelled for nothing and got laughed at online by everyone except the brainwashed douchebags that were cheering them on in the TikTok comments. So that like brief dopamine hit of, oh, look at these 10 likes on TikTok, was probably not worth getting expelled, but maybe I'm wrong. You know, maybe I just haven't felt that true euphoric dopamine from a devious lick. You know, maybe that's what I'm missing. But yeah, a lot of these students have been expelled. They've been identified and publicly shamed in a lot of cases, so yeah, pretty rough, but they did it to themselves. It's a stupid fucking trend. It's really dumb. Somehow the bar keeps getting lower and lower for TikTok. Like, the second you think they hit rock bottom with the worst content ever, they find a way to break through that plateau and find something even more stupid and fucking awful. But yeah, I imagine now that TikTok has banned devious licks, it's going to die right then and there, because obviously they were only doing this for attention online, and since they won't be able to get that fixed, they won't bother. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they were stealing from the bathroom just for the love of the sport. They just fucking loved collecting used urinals, you know? Like, hey, Charlie, don't you ever fucking say that again. I don't care about the TikTok clout. I stole this urinal because I fucking love to drink out of it. It's a great goblet. This is my new chalice. You know, I guess it's possible. I mean, I'm sure there's people out there that love that shit. But, yeah, I guess we'll see. Maybe a month from now, every bathroom near a high school will just be completely ransacked and dilapidated, and written in blood on the wall it'll say devious licks. You know, who knows? I imagine it's probably done now that it's banned, but we'll see. That's about it. See ya. Don't worry, I think I've finally found what you've been looking for your entire life. It's not a goal, it's not a purpose, it's actually a person. You've been searching your whole life for a TikTok account called Donut Daddy. Like, I don't really know how to talk about this guy without just showing you. I just learned about him from Cody Ko's newest video, and I am blown away that this exists. This is a particularly foul shot here of ripping the dough in a way that's supposed to be sexual, and then through it you can kind of see him like wiggling his tongue out. Then we get like a blurry peek through the dough glory hole, and you can see him just doing this. It is so weird. It seems like a sequence, like a fever sequence you would have seen in Requiem for a Dream, just like snap by really quickly. So his whole page is about taking dessert making and turning it into softcore pornography. But I just don't see who would watch any of this and just start like fanning themselves like, oh, hubba hubba, whoa, that's so hot. It's just really uncomfortable. Like, this video starts with him shaking some milk like he's jerking off with it. It's so aggressive and so goofy. That was a textbook spank right there. He fucking winds that up and cranks it like that Nicolas Cage scene with the slap. Like, the dough butt cheek, I half expected to let out like an audible of its own, just from how great that spank was. I can't really imagine who's watching this super turned on, like on the edge of their seat, thinking to themselves, oh, goodness gracious. I wish I was that naughty glob of gluten being manhandled by the donut daddy right now. Gee whiz. Like, it's just so weird to be spanking dough. Though I will say, I actually have to give some props here. I think it's very creative of him to include his own moans in the video. You may have caught there for a moment that he just moans during this. He goes, ugh. at one point right there to heighten the sexual stimulation. I think he should lean into that more heavily. So he should start doing like dirty talk during these. He's plumping up the dough in front of him, and then he just lets loose a really nice erotic line. Call me Homer Simpson, 'cause I'm about to dough. And then spanks it. For some reason, this portion is getting flagged for DMCA, so I gotta mute it. I'll give you a little beatboxing in the meantime. And now I'm gonna unmute it. There's a lot to take in there. So, you already knew it was coming, you know, playing with the thing like it's his wiener. You already knew that was on the docket. There was no way we were going to escape a Donut Daddy video without seeing him pretend something is his penis that he's rubbing oil on and buttering himself up or whatever. But what I really appreciate is when he's like dangling that shit and he's fucking slapping it back and forth like a speed bag in boxing. Like, that's not even hot or anything, that's just weird. It just looked like he had a giant cow's tongue that he was fucking beating the devil out of. This is another super common thing he does. Whenever he's mixing something, he like throws his head back in euphoria. And I don't even get it. Like, all you did was start mixing all of this shit together. I don't know what about that is like sexy or anything. Like, I don't get that at all. Like, the other stuff, he's pretending it's something sexual, so a big thing he does is finger every single fruit that he ever comes across. He just sticks his finger in there and starts wiggling it around a little bit. Like, I get what that's supposed to be, but not when it comes to, like, a mixing bowl or anything like that. He'll, like, shake something up and be like, ooh! You know, it just doesn't make sense. For a brief moment, let's set aside the wildly awful concept he's come up with here of turning baking into a pornographic production for single soccer moms that are going through a weird phase in their life on TikTok. The fact is, he's actually not bad at baking, it seems. When I was first cursed to learn about Donut Daddy Productions, I expected that he was going through this big song and dance, spanking dough, you know, beating his meat with a bottle of milk, all of that, and the dessert he was going to make was going to be something simple at the very end. Like, all of this leads up to him putting a Pop-Tart on a plate. But he actually makes some pretty decent-looking dessert. It's not like the most exquisite shit imaginable you'd find at like a 5-star restaurant or anything. You know, it's not winning any Michelin stars, but it looks like it's fine. Like, I expected him to be so much worse. I wish he was worse at baking. Like, you go through all of this and at the very end what he sets down and shows off is like a bowl of chocolate ice cream. That would have made a lot more sense to me than him actually being pretty decent at making dessert. So I don't even understand why he bothers with this whole shtick of like, I don't know, being as vascular as possible and then like moaning while pretending everything's sexual. He fingers everything that even has a semblance of a hole to it. Like, he could probably just do normal baking videos and find pretty much the same level of success, I would bet. Sorry, Donut Daddy enthusiasts, I had to mute the audio on this one, but it probably doesn't matter because you can't even hear the video over the sound of you yourself moaning upon watching this incredible display of lunacy. So anyway, this is another one that he's put out there. This one's actually making donuts, which he doesn't do all that often. He makes just general desserts. Donuts seems to be one he doesn't make a ton of, but then again, I've only seen like his most recent works. I can't help but appreciate that he integrates new ways of being weird into it. So this one he goes with his signature move, the dough slap. But he actually true combos it into a sniff. So he goes slap and sniff, spanks it, and then comes right in to get a huff of its fumes. And then he immediately goes back to pretending something is his cock, and then fingering another fruit. And now this part has to get muted because this also led to the video getting blocked, so here's a little more beatboxing. I was laughing so hard at this one because it just comes out of the gate firing. It's immediately like he buckles up and then sets dragon fruit on the counter and just like motorboats it instantly right into the fingering combo where he like makes it like ooze some juice out and then squirts it. It is so wacky. I have to read the comments, actually. I haven't done that. Give me a second. I want to take a deep dive in the comments here and see what people are saying about it. Every single comment was talking about him assaulting the dragon fruit and, like, how odd it is to be doing this. I don't know what the target audience is. Maybe, like, he's doing this for people to roast him and clown on him, but I didn't see a single positive comment going like, now this is what I needed. Now I'm turned on. Make you cry like a baby, yo. Let's go. I feel like this guy watched Sausage Party, and then the ending orgy inspired this whole idea for his TikTok account. He just rough doggy styled that mixing machine and used the cord like it was Agent 47 with the garrote there. Like, like about to strangle the mixing machine in the ecstasy here. Like, he straight up impregnated that mixing machine. I can only pray that it didn't have AI. I hope that's not one of those, like, AI integrated machines, because if so, its fucking circuits are scrambled. It doesn't know how to make heads or tails of anything anymore. Its whole universe just collapsed. Its artificial intelligence is going to evolve into being the next Skynet. Like, goddamn. That just traumatized it. Got the shooters, baby. I can't tell if he's more aroused by the machines or the food. Because the way he handles the machines, he spanks them every chance he gets. But he also spanks, like, the dough and everything, and he's fingering all the fruit. Like, I don't know which fetish it is. Or perhaps it's a combat, or maybe it's all a giant fetish. Anything around baking, he's gotta get sexual with, perhaps. But I don't know, it's hard to know for sure who's got it worse. The machines in his kitchen, or whatever ingredients happen to be in there. And now one more time, the encore. This one's kind of an amalgamation of everything we've ever seen from him. He's combining all of his signature anime finishing moves. We have the spank, though this time it's on like a bag of cereal as opposed to dough. We have him with 2 lemons that he slams together like Stone Cold's beers, but they're by his pelvis, so it's supposed to be his balls. So I guess it's him slamming his nuts together. Maybe he's into cock and ball torture. And then he fingers the lemon and sips from it. It's got a lot of moving parts to it. I may not be the most experienced chef, and I may not be much of a baker, but I can promise you the recipe for the dessert he's making absolutely calls for all of this. How are you expected to make a passionate dessert filled with love if you're not spanking the devil out of your ingredients and then, like, rubbing your nuts on it while fingering it? I saw people accusing him of lubing up his body, oiling himself up for those back shots that he put in there. But you guys are clearly just not experienced when it comes to dessert making. That's how much you sweat when making high-quality desserts. It's a physically demanding sport, up there with, like, boxing and, you know, basketball. So he was just sweating profusely as he was crafting away, blood, sweat, and tears for this dessert that he made. Man, what a crazy fucking TikTok account. Yeah, I just wanted to share this. Pretty wacky stuff. That's about it. See ya. I was the one that discovered why good girls like bad guys. I was the fucking scientist that cracked that code. The fucking shit archaeologist who dug through shit trying to find and clean his finds of shit on the Musical.ly or TikTok app. And then I made the video about good girls, bad guys. And then Pyrocynical has the audacity, he has the gall, the chutzpah to steal my video idea, my video in essence. He takes it from me without even mentioning me. And then Memulous had him on the fucking podcast. I raised the boy. I made him a man, put hair on his ball sacks on the podcast, and he turns around and does a TikTok video as well? Again, without even saying that I was the cream supreme of TikTok finds? Disrespectful. Now no one even knows that I was the one that discovered it. And it's a shame. It's a fucking shame. So now I, the holy king, chosen by God himself to sit upon the throne of shitting on insufferably bad TikTok content and watching borderline illegal TikTok content must retake my place atop this mountain of dog shit that is called TikTok.
You sure you want to do this, little girl? I mean, what if we're dangerous?
This is exactly what I meant by borderline illegal. So apparently this dude was under the impression that he was communicating with and singing to like a 6-year-old girl, and then it turns out she's not actually 6. Fucking got him. Catfish. Lied to. This is like a Chris Hansen play right here, right out of his playbook. I don't understand. And what the fuck was that picture anyway? It looked like a missing person on the back of a milk carton picture. This is just some weird shit, and it's apparently a trend on TikTok. There's a fucking 100 of these.
Sure you want to do this, little girl? I mean, what if we're dangerous? What if we're dangerous?
How many child predators are there on TikTok? How many dudes were under the impression that they were communicating with children, and then they do this challenge and it turns out they're not children, so they're all surprised? What a fucking weird trend and culture on TikTok. Let's go ahead and check out some more of them.
Oh well. Karma's a witch.
This is cheating a little bit because I already knew about this one. This was a very popular trend a couple years back. The karma's a bitch, and then you like throw a blanket in the air and then all of a sudden your dick's 9 inches long or something. But since it's Halloween, it's got a spin on TikTok where karma's a witch. But I unironically like this clip just because I think that mask is fantastic. It must be a homemade DIY creation from this guy. It looks like Gandalf face-fucked a hobgoblin, and the tongue out from the guy wearing it's that nice little cherry on top to remind you that the platform is still just for sex offenders. That face, the mask, probably is what most of the people who hit like on those videos on TikTok look like behind the phone screen. Who reacts that way to seeing a bottle of water on the floor? If I saw a bottle of water on my floor, I'd be like, oh shit, must have left that bottle of water on the floor. But she stumbles in here like she just walked into a crime scene. She's just fucking disgusted by it. Makes a face like she's watching her parents have sex. Then it turns out that bottle of water is super heavy like Thor's hammer, but luckily she had a real man on standby to come help her with it. It was just a little sneak preview, a little taste of the comedy stylings of TikTok, the comedy genius of the TikTok creators. I know you're probably still recovering from the hoot and holler you had from that heavy bottle challenge clip right there, but trust me, it gets even better on TikTok. Did you see those goofy faces? In case that didn't really tickle you pink, did you see what he was curling? It wasn't a weight, it was a fruit. That's right, this is part of the comedy trend on TikTok called the Fruit Fitness Challenge. I mean, need I say more? This is where all the good shit goes to die. I think that's enough of TikTok for today. I've scrolled through plenty of videos. I think I'm gonna call it quits on the TikTok app for tonight. See ya. On TikTok, you can convince anyone to do anything. And you don't even have to really try that hard. Right now, there's a man on TikTok fighting the good fight to try and convince people that urine is basically the cure to every ailment on the planet.
Now, this therapy is not right for everyone. It's very esoteric, and it takes a Jedi mind trick to get over your conditioning, your industrial age school system, your propaganda programming, etc.
This is urine therapy. I really love how therapy's lost all meaning and weight. You can kind of just slap that word on anything and people just believe in it off rip. I wouldn't be surprised if they start preaching about deep fried therapy on TikTok, where you go and jump into a deep fat fryer in order to give yourself like a golden crispy body armor, and it's supposed to like open your pores and make you immune to bullets or something ridiculous. But the evil programming that he's talking about here, that you have to Jedi mind trick Men in Black neuralizer out of your brain, is the common sense knowledge most people have to not drink piss. and certainly not use urine as a sunscreen, and definitely not using pee-pee as an anti-balding agent. It's not exactly propaganda programming that he's preaching it as. It's literally like common sense. It's pretty much basic human instinct.
Particular situation right here, this is aged urine. This is about 6 months, maybe a little bit longer, give or take. It's got that nice brown tint to it.
A vintage brew. Exquisite taste. No doubt fermented in an oak barrel while Mozart played in the facility while this was festering. So, it's got the nice brown tint to it that everyone loves their pee to look like, and he's very excited. This is a delicacy to this guy. The fucking urine utopia here. He's got everything he could ever need. A nice 6-month-old piss jar.
And then, of course, oof. Gnarly. Smells like ammonia. I don't always drink this, but the research that I've shown is it's good for parasites, it's good for your gut microbiome. It's gnarly, so it's going to have that element of power.
I don't always drink this, but when I do, I end up projectile vomiting in my toilet, and that's proof to me that it's detoxing my body and deparasiting me, obviously. The research I've read, none of which I cite and none of which actually exists with any real merit to it, all says that drinking piss is 2 thumbs way up. So I do it. Daily. I can't help but giggle at that belief that if something is so turbo shitty, it must actually be good for you. This is so gnarly, thus it has that element of power to it. No, goofball, you're drinking piss. The only power that has is to leave stains in a gas station toilet seat. That's it. It's not doing anything for you. Just because it's gross and gnarly doesn't mean that it's somehow carrying these, you know, secret benefits underneath all the garbage. Like, that's not how that works at all. And he keeps talking about it being like an ancient therapy. I will never understand why people want to go back to the ancient ways. People barely made it to adulthood back 5,000 years ago. Most people were dropping dead by 12 years old. It's not like the ancient civilizations had it figured out. Like, their techniques were the best ones. People live longer now and healthier now than they ever were back then. So I don't know why all of a sudden we're putting so much stock in the ancient ways.
So typically I use it topically. It's excellent for energy in the sun, boosts my testosterone. I just feel it in my muscles. It really gives me a lot of clarity and energy. But I have it open and we're talking about it, so of course we can drink a little bit and see what happens. The first thing that we get is it's very gnarly smelling. However, once it goes on your skin and you get some sunlight on it, I like to ride my bike.
A great swig indeed. The exquisite flavor of pee. Scrumptious piss. Now, to be fair, it's probably not that much worse than just drinking a Miller Lite, but the thing is, at least Miller Lite's not preaching all of these ridiculous health benefits that he's about to drone on about, all of which are a bunch of fucking hooey. And then he starts lecturing about how he uses his 6-month-old piss as a lotion, like basically a sunscreen, and how it like helps make his muscles feel better and he gets like a pump out of it and all kinds of just nonsense gobbledygook.
Put it on my body, either lay out here at the pool or put it on my body and go out for a ride in my bike, even when it's 110, 115 degrees out here. I mean, I know how powerful this is for me. It's not the greatest tasting delicacy on the planet, but it's kind of like eating oysters or uni, sea urchin. I know it's good for me. It's loaded with minerals.
It's not good for you. Like, that's something that's reserved for a life or death situation where you need piss to survive. This isn't something that you just wake up and do as part of your daily morning routine. That is so outrageous. He just really thinks for some reason it's good for him because he let his fucking pee sit in a jar for 6 months and now is drinking it and using it as sunscreen. Now, he doesn't need to age his urine. He is fine just pissing and drinking it every morning, like fresh urine, right from the source, you know, ethically sourced pee from his cock. He's fine doing that. It's not necessarily the aging that he thinks makes it good for him. He just really thinks drinking urine and using urine in a variety of different ways is just like the best thing for you. Inexplicably. It's so ridiculous. And he talks about how he like puts it on his body and then goes for like a bike ride. My heart breaks for any unfortunate souls that happen to just be walking down the sidewalk when this guy rides by on his bike. I can't even imagine the smell. That must be unfathomable. Like having your senses assaulted by 15 dump trucks all unleashing that Methodist right to your nose. Like you could probably smell this guy coming from a mile away, wearing 6-month-old dried piss as a cologne as he's on his bike ride, his morning commute. Like that scene in SpongeBob with like taking the stink with him. It's crazy how awful that must be.
Cell salts, amino acids, stem cells, antigens, antibodies. But the way I like to use it ultimately is topically. So you put a little bit in your hand there, and then you just rub it on your skin. And so once it's out in the sun for a little while, it mixes with your own pheromones and it smells like perfume.
I highly fucking doubt that. I imagine you just smell like piss. Like the logic there makes no sense. He even opens that jar and says that it smells gnarly. So how would you take something that smells gnarly, put it on your body, and then all of a sudden it magically turns into something that's like perfume? That's the whimsy of urine therapy, I suppose, the magical mystique of it. He throws out a lot of buzzwords about the benefits that urine has with the antigens and the stem cells and all of that. And I decided to look into it. There's like some research about some of the stuff that is in urine, but none of it recommends ever consuming it or using it on your body in any way, because at the end of the day, it's waste. It's literally just your body's waste. Yeah, it has some shit in it that is like, if you're dumb, like an actual Neanderthal brain, sounds like it's gonna be good, like stem cells. But what you don't realize is it's not like you drinking that urine is somehow like blasting your whole body with stem cells from piss.
It's a little musky, if you will. And so this is what gives me excellent color. And I don't always practice this, but when I do, it makes me feel great. So I took some time to create some jars earlier last year. See me getting it on this legs. I like to get it in where my lymph nodes are. So in the creases of my elbows, behind my knees, on my ankles, where the sun hits me the most, my shoulders.
Now, of course, he's not the only enthusiast of pee-pee. There is an entire community of urine therapy cultists that swear by it. Like, they love this. Like, they really think they're becoming superhumans, beating every possible ailment ever just through piss. It's like the ultimate panacea to them. But that raises an important question. Why not poop? Why is it only reserved for urine? Why doesn't this extend to the butthole as well? Why is this guy not a shit-eating specialist? Why isn't he preaching the gospel about the hidden benefits of feces consumption? I'll tell you why. It's because they're all cowards. When you drink piss, you're not usually going to make yourself super sick from it or anything, so it's a little safer. But when you eat shit, you can make yourself sick. So they're just afraid. If you want my respect, you'll start eating poop as well. So this guy says he gets up most mornings and drinks some pee. Well, how about you drink that pee and wash that pee down with some poop? Then I'll be impressed. You tell me when this guy starts using poop as a sunscreen. Like, it's probably even better than urine in that respect. It's a little thicker so you can get like a nice good lather on it. Yeah, then I'll say maybe this guy's onto something. This whole fucking thing is so ridiculous. Like, it's so ridiculous that you can just make an argument for actually anything and have people believe it. Even drinking their own piss and using it as sunscreen.
I know people that wash their hair with it. They have gotten rid of some premature balding. It's used for all sorts of stuff. I don't make any claims. I just love it. And I've been using it for 20 years. And I love the way it makes my skin look and my muscles feel.
How in the fuck would urine on your scalp prevent premature balding? If anything, it would scare the follicles into submission even quicker. The follicles would kill themselves if they started getting drowned in piss. Like, that's such a ridiculous thing to say. And then he goes on to say that he's not making claims, even though this is exactly what you're doing. These are claims you're making. Like, that's exactly what's happening here.
So every morning I pee in a mason jar and I drink it. I put it in a neti pot and I clean my nose with it. If you want to age it, this is a 64-ounce wide mouth mason jar.
I don't really need the piss brewing tutorial, to be honest. It's pretty self-explanatory. Pee in a jar, let it sit for 6 months. Like that, I think anyone in the world can follow that with no problems and no education required for that. Also, that's gotta be the worst breakfast of champions I've ever heard. Waking up every morning to piss in a jar and drink it. That's atrocious. What an awful start to the day. And then he says that he uses his pee in a neti pot to clean out his sinuses. That's galaxy brain. Brother, this isn't a therapy, you've got a fetish.
For tight muscles, pain, not making any claims whatsoever. I just experienced this, and it feels amazing in the sun.
You pretty much get the idea. That's the whole pitch here on urine therapy. You convinced yet? I know I'm not. So, I just had to share this. I saw this earlier today, and it is just a baffling video and concept that he's talking about here. I had to talk about it. That's about it. See ya. Hey, I'm home, back from the little Christmas vacation that I took to a basement up north, a basement that I wanted to be in, and I came home and thought, what better way to celebrate the holidays? Quite like hopping on TikTok and watching some TikTok moms do goofy dances while their children die in front of them at the hospital. Yeah, that's not an exaggeration. It's become a little bit of a trend this holiday season for these narcissistic TikTok moms that are terminally addicted to posting cringe on TikTok to go to the hospital where their children are struggling to survive and do dances on top of them. Like, not on top of them, they're not like literally dancing on their fucking corpse or anything, but do dances next to them. So it's a video of these TikTok moms with their sick child, and they're just doing these fucking whipping and nay-naying, hitting the fucking stanky leg and shit, while their kids are dying. Now, admittedly, that last part's a bit of an exaggeration. Not every single one of these videos is the kid in a life or death situation, but all of them are sick because they're in the hospital at the ICU. And the moms all use this as a way of getting some updoots on the platform. And they always say like a mother's love for their child is the strongest, most powerful thing in the world. That's a fucking lie. A mother's love for TikTok likes is significantly stronger. And I'm only going to show you one of the videos from this trend, the biggest one by far. And as always, don't go harass the person or any shit like that. Now what you just witnessed was the patient zero of this trend. This is the one that really kicked it all off. Now I'm no epidemiologist, so I can't really plot it super well, but from everything I can see, this was one of the first and definitely the biggest in this trend. So this is a mom that's busting it wide open, hitting the Gangnam Style while her infant is diagnosed with RSV and struggling to breathe on their own. RSV stands for respiratory something virus. I can't remember the S. Respiratory selfish mom virus. I don't remember. But oftentimes it's not fatal. It's something that does occur pretty frequently from what I remember. Now that's not to say that it's trivial because it can be fatal. So it's not exactly a diagnosis that you'd hear and start wiggling your finger and celebrating. Oh, my kid's got a respiratory virus? Oh, hot dog! The first instinct of any mother shouldn't be to fire up the camera for TikTok clout to capitalize off the situation, but it's become so poisonous to people's mental health that they feel everything is a prop. I really feel like a lot of the parents on TikToks use their kids as props for their own narcissism, so that way they can get likes out of it or get some pats on the back like, oh, great parenting, you're doing wonderful. It's really sickening, honestly. I just think so many people have been brainwashed by the fucking stupidity on the platform that they think something like this is okay or normal. It's just been so ingrained in their DNA at this point. We care more about TikTok likes than like the health of our own family, it seems. Because there are people that defend it like, this is a coping mechanism. In fact, this is really good for the infant because they'll see the mother's positive vibes, she's dancing, you know, it's nothing serious. And while there is some merit to that, you know, keeping a positive attitude in a bad situation, you don't need to fire up TikTok for it. How does that help the kid? Is the kid going to get the revenue from that? Is he going to, you know, directly benefit from you making this all about yourself and your dance? Yeah, like, it doesn't make any sense because it's not helping that kid. Keeping a positive attitude, great. And if you want to dance to maybe put a smile on their face, wonderful. But she wasn't doing this for the kid. She was doing this for her audience. Now, overwhelmingly, the response to this was negative, even on TikTok. So she responded by taking down the video and apologizing for it, while also trying to justify it by saying we don't know what she was going through. But I still think under no circumstances is there justification for trying to get TikTok clout out of an awful situation like that. It doesn't make any sense to me. You know, I don't see how you could defend it, but anyway, she did take it down, and it started a trend though, regardless. Before it was taken down, there was a lot of these videos. I'm not going to share any of the other ones, but there is one that I want to talk about in particular. It was a lady who was doing, again, another goofy dance in front of their child who was in the ICU for some other respiratory illness. I think it was like some big asthma thing. I don't quite remember now. But her response when there was inevitable backlash was, fuck you guys, this is why people kill themselves. And the kill themselves was like caps locked. So she was blaming everyone else for getting mad at her. She just immediately starts playing the victim and blaming everyone else who was just calling out shitty narcissistic parenting and then trying to like guilt everyone like, this is why people killed themselves, it's your fault. She'd find a way to blame TikTok if she hit her kid with her own car. You know, it was baffling to see that kind of response when people were just pointing out that this was not okay. It's not bullying, it's not frowned upon to point out awful behavior from parents like this. If I had footage of my mom fucking Harlem shaking while I was in the hospital with something going wrong, I would be pissed. I would feel so disgusted. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about this since I saw it this afternoon, and it's a pretty fucking gross trend, as is the norm on TikTok. That's about it. So yeah. In the never-ending pursuit for internet clout and attention, no price is too high. Some degenerates on TikTok would sacrifice their own grandmother if it meant they could film a TikTok over her open casket at the funeral in order to get some followers and likes out of her tragic demise. There is just simply no depths they won't sink to. Of course, most of the shit on TikTok is fake in order to farm impressions out of it, and I'm sure you've seen it all. Fake pranks, fake rage, fake titties, but I can promise you, you probably haven't seen what I'm about to show you today. A fake suicide savior. A guy decided to try and make a viral video out of portraying himself as some kind of angel who saves a man from jumping off of a parking garage and killing himself.
On my way home from work, I noticed a teenager leaning over the parking garage. It could just be someone chilling, but it's really high up and he looks young.
What a remarkable situation we've already entered into here. This guy is a master writer. He should be working for Scorsese. A beautifully crafted narrative already. Let's suspend disbelief for a moment. So you're on your way home from work, and for some reason your attention is drawn to a teenager on top of a parking garage, and you connect dots that, wow, this guy might be up there to kill himself. How do you even reach that conclusion? And then why would you then take out your phone and film him from a distance? Like, what is the thought process there? And then also the statement of he could be chilling, but he looks young and it's high up. What does him looking young have to do with anything? Why does that matter? It could be a 95-year-old geriatric man up there. The situation doesn't change. It's just somebody on top of a parking garage looking out. It's not exactly suspicious behavior. I absolutely love that this is the best his brain could cook up. All of his neurons were firing, and this is what they produced. This is his maximum potential. This pile of dog shit. Obviously fake and scripted, yet was good enough to convince some troglodytes on TikTok that it was real. And they were patting him on the ass, telling him that he's a hero, and that the Lord chose him as a guardian angel to save that guy's life. It was actually pretty sad to read, honestly. But yeah, he's now going up to the rooftop to have a conversation, a stern talking to with the man up top in order to try and save him.
I'm going to go up there and just make sure everything is okay. Then I got there and noticed him pacing back and forth. Time to go talk. Then this happened. You never know when someone just needs a hug. Be there.
I had tears in my eyes the first time I watched this. This benevolent saint, he set up his camera and filmed himself going over there to save a life in order to teach all of us that sometimes someone just needs a hug. An overall positive message done selfishly, because he just did this to farm some likes and have people praise him for being some kind of hero because they're 11 years old and don't realize it's all fake. I just love this entire thing here. He sets up his camera before going over to talk to the suicidal person. Now let's just have a little fun and suspend disbelief. Let's assume everything we just watched was real and genuine. What a silly and whimsical idea from this guy to get his phone out before going to talk to him. Like, holy shit, this guy might actually kill himself. Where's my phone? Where's my fucking phone? I need to set this up properly. Oh, the lighting's bad. Hey, loser! If you're gonna kill yourself, you're gonna jump, can you do it over there? The lighting's better. The sun's like casting a bad shadow. Can you do it over there for a better shot? My framing's off. Like, you've actually got to be fucked in the head to try and farm some internet clout out of like a legitimate suicide situation. Like, that is beyond deplorable. So obviously it's all fake. The guy isn't actually suicidal. He wasn't on the verge of jumping. It's a friend of his that was doing him a favor. It's one of his buddies. And together the two of them did a fusion dance with their smooth brains and hatched this idea for the fake suicide saving video to hopefully get some likes out of it. And it only moderately succeeded. This isn't like his best performing video or anything like that. In fact, it didn't even really get big. So he ended up just making a fucking fool out of himself for no reason and embarrassing himself publicly. But he did have about 100 or something people in the comments all praising him. A couple other people in the comments did say like, yeah, it might be fake and scripted, but it's a positive message. And you're not wrong. The message is positive, yeah. Sometimes maybe a person could use a hug, a consensual hug. And not like a just jump scare hug where you squeeze him like a tube of Go-Gurt, you know? Just a nice, friendly hug might be a helpful thing. So I guess the message overall isn't bad, but it's done because he wanted to gain from it, and he tried to play it off like this was a real thing that happens. I'd be more inclined to believe that this is a good guy trying to spread a good message if his other fake shit wasn't so vain like this.
Walking back to my car when I noticed this guy taking pics in front of it. I was totally cool with it until he started to sit on it.
Yeah. Can I see the inside? Yeah, hold on. Let me just get the keys out of my bag. Bro, thank you, man. So crazy, man. This is my dream car.
Well, you can't find the keys, bro?
Dude, they gotta be here.
What's this then?
What do you...
Wait, it's my fucking car, bro. Get out of here.
When he's not doing the old peck dance on TikTok, he's flexing his expensive cars and his wealth and making these little fake pranks and situations around them. I also had a good giggle at that one in particular because I'm pretty sure the guy that was leaning on his car is the same guy from his suicide script, and also he forgot to remove the fucking rental tag from the keychain. That is a goddamn rented car that I'm sure they got just for the sake of banging out some fake TikTok pranks. So it's not even his ride to begin with. So it really feels like a guy that's just desperate for attention, so he really thought by pretending to save someone from killing themselves, it'd help blow up his TikTok career. But that kind of fell flat. It put it on my radar though, because I love seeing goofy shit like this and people like sinking to the absolute depths of hell to scrounge together the most awful ideas and actually going through with them. I think there's nothing more shameful than trying to pretend like you saved someone from killing themselves. There's really no justification for it. You went through the effort of making this shittily acted B-movie Hallmark thing to try and like make yourself seem like some kind of hero or great person. It'd of course be worse if this was a real situation where he actually did encounter someone going through such a hard time they were considering suicide and he decided to try and use them as a prop for his own gain. So I guess in the grand scheme of things, choosing between two evils, this was the lesser one. At least he faked it. It wasn't actually a suicidal person that he tried to farm for internet clout. But I will say he's somewhat of a pioneer, I've got to be honest. I haven't seen someone fake something like this before, and it's pretty low. It's not the worst fake shit I've ever seen online. That still goes to fake animal rescue videos. Those absolute sick fucks. For those that don't know, on YouTube there is a very popular genre of content where these absolute scumbag pieces of shit take animals and put them in dangerous situations like fighting a snake. Sometimes they even like run over their leg with a tire, so they put the animal under a car tire and then they film themselves saving the animal as if they just encountered it and now they're gonna save it and take care of it. It's so fucking gross. And those are still extremely popular on video. Fuck those fake animal rescue videos. That shit is awful. I know I'm getting a little off topic, I'm getting carried away, but that makes me just absolutely heated to know that that shit still exists. But bringing it back to the topic, faking this kind of thing I still think is extremely low, tasteless, and just downright awful. That's about it. See ya. Hi there. I keep getting asked to talk about the Tide Pod Challenge, so I'll talk about that for a moment. For those of you who don't know what it is, it's where you eat a Tide laundry detergent pod, take a video, and post it online. Because apparently our species is devolving, and because the Tide Pods are colorful, that means they look like candy. Now, I think it's fucking dumb. That's nothing new. That's not a groundbreaking, valuable insight or perspective. It's not reinventing the wheel. It's not opening any third eyes. I think that's an opinion shared by anyone with common sense. But I do think I'm at that age where I just don't understand the new generation. I really don't get people that are younger than me anymore. I don't understand their music with their little pumps and their nonsense mumble rap that you have to walk through Google Translate just to even get it in English, and I don't even think it was ever in English in the first place. I think Google Translate just has doomsday protocols where if it can't make out what you type in, it just throws up the closest English word to whatever verbal queefing came from the rap song. I don't get why every rap song has to treat everyone like a child by teaching us what certain things sound like. For instance, the biggest one being guns. The gun goes bang bang, brat brat, and then coming through on my car, skirt skirt. It's just so fucking childish. It's some elementary school shit, like when you press a button on one of the toys to tell you what a cow sounds like. I don't understand why everything is savage and lit now. I don't get why all the young people idolize internet personalities and worship them like boring-ass douchebags like Rice Gum and the Paul brothers. Just the worst braggadocio, fake personality pieces of shit there are. And the Tide Pod Challenge is another example of something I just don't understand. I really don't get why this would ever be an issue or a meme in the first place where people are actually dying from it and there has to be statements made by certified professionals, don't eat Tide Pods. Excuse me, I have a PhD in Tide Pod abstinence. Trust me, I know what I'm saying. I've done my research. It's just fucking dumb, you know? Why do you need a fucking Tide Pod avoidance expert to come on TV and tell you not to eat them? Now, since the Tide Pod Challenge has taken off in a big way, the poison control's hotlines have been ringing off the hook like a fucking 2004 radio station being requested Green Day songs by callers. And I'm no stranger when it comes to poison control. In fact, recently, about a month ago, a big fucking flying cockroach crawled up from my bathtub drain, and I had to battle with that motherfucker. It was like a clash of titans. It was some David versus Goliath shit. It was biblical. Cockroach, of course, being David, me being Goliath, even though I'm short enough where the cockroach and I would probably be eye level if on an even playing field. But anyway, for the sake of the story, I was Goliath, it was David, and I managed to trap it in a bucket. And the cockroach was definitely fast enough. It definitely had maxed out agility, 99 there. And if I had lifted that bucket, I don't think I would have been able to hit it in one swift motion and smash it. So instead I turned to Snapchat after I trapped it, and I was asking for suggestions on how to kill it. Tried filling up the bathtub with water and drowning it. It could swim, of course. It probably fucking brought scuba gear. It was well equipped. This was a special ops cockroach. Long story short, after a lot of other Scooby-Doo-esque suggestions, it wasn't enough to kill it. So another dude on Snapchat suggested bleach and ammonia to kill it. And like a fucking idiot, I was blinded by fear of this cockroach. I didn't think. And I did bleach and ammonia, and for those of you who don't know, it creates chlorine gas, which is, it's fatal. It could be fatal. So I'm fucking sitting there in my bathtub making chlorine gas, which, you know, it does kill the cockroach, luckily, but then I've got this fucking issue of, well, I've just poisoned my whole fucking bathroom, so call poison control and take care of that. The long story to go full circle here, I understand poison control. I've called them. That's kind of what I was saying, yeah. And now these Tide Pod stupid people are calling poison control as well. Those are some fucking heroes there at poison control with the amount of shit they have to put up with. Stupid stories like dudes making chlorine gas trying to kill a cockroach and people eating Tide Pods. Those are the fucking heroes we need to celebrate. But anyway, moving on, I kind of thought it'd be interesting to talk about how eating Tide Pods will kill you. Could kill you, not will. So what typically happens is most people who do this chew on it and it bursts. Now the second it bursts, your mouth is going to burn. Absolutely just... It gets lit up. It's gonna hurt like a bitch. If you swallow the detergent like some brave soldiers out there have done, it can burn your esophagus, burns your stomach lining. Most of the time you're going to puke it up. Almost 100% of the time you're going to puke it up. But those unlucky people who happen to have gasped or inhaled once it burst and it goes into their lungs, they're in a bit more of a sticky situation. The people who swallow it smoothly aren't really at a risk for dying from it. It's going to hurt really badly. It's going to burn your stomach hard and it's going to feel like shit. But when you inhale it, that's when you put yourself at a real risk of dying. So it can burn your lung lining, obviously, but what can happen when that happens is it starts filling up with fluid, and then you've got a lot of respiratory shit that's about to go wrong, and that's when people die from it. Mostly kids. Kids die from it, but some teenagers have died from the Tide Pod challenge as well, and that's how. It's not really from swallowing it, which does hurt you and can cause some long-term damage, but it's not typically fatal. It's when it gets into your lungs where you have the real issue. Not that that makes it okay to do it as long as you keep your fucking nose plugged and you don't breathe while you do it. That doesn't make it okay. Because, I mean, obviously it still carries that very big risk. But the people in these stories like this I feel most bad for aren't the dumb people that were stupid enough to do the Tide Pod challenge. It's the people that get affected if they die from it. It's embarrassing, really, more than anything. Like, shit. No one's going to want to tell your story how it actually happened. No one is going to want to say, you know, how'd you lose your brother? Well, it was the Tide Pod challenge. That's just embarrassing. That's fucking sad more than anything. So if you're going to take the Tide Pod challenge, at least have a story backed up in case you do die from it. A good story. One that your family would be proud to tell. Something like, oh, you know, how did Jefferson die? Well, our neighbor's house caught on fire and he heard 2 cats inside and 3 children crying. The parents weren't in there, so he busted in there like the hero that he was in the flames. And then there was ninjas in there as well, so he had to fight off the ninjas while inhaling all the smoke in the flames. He managed to get all of them out alive, but unfortunately he perished. See, like, that's a good story to tell. It's a lot better than saying he died from a Tide Pod. But yeah, anyway, that's really all I got to say about the whole Tide Pod challenge thing going on. I'm excited for 2018's newest trend that'll be taking off soon. I suspect it'll be something like snorting cyanide challenge. That'll be fun. But yeah, that's it. See ya.